You sit across from her in a bar, waiting. Your voice runs ahead of your thoughts, chasing her nod. Glasses breathe between you, echoes of your heartbeat in this room. You edit yourself mid-sentence, polishing every harmless opinion into a dating signal. You are not speaking to her. You are auditioning for her approval. Her phone lights up and her chest tightens on cue without warning. Read receipts become a verdict in this attention economy. You rush your reply inside tiny response windows, scared of silence. You try jokes, stories, confessions, anything to stay selected. You don't hold boundaries. You negotiate for her gaze. Seneca would say your mind serves the wrong throne. You trade masculine sovereignty for the comfort of her approval and attention. You bend the rules you live by when you over-explain for social proof. You mirror her mood, her pace, her dating dynamics. You mistake ease for connection and effort for weakness. Notice one conversation where you race to fill response windows. Cut your following sentence in half and let the air remain. Let her eyes search the quiet, not your performance. Feel how silence weighs more than another clever line. You have to see whose rules you silently enforce. Seneca starts here, not with your feelings, but with inner structure. He cares how you govern your hours when no one is watching. Respect, in his world, is a side effect, not a prize. In a feed built on attention economy metrics, that sounds strange. He says a man is measured by the rules he lives by, not by likes or scene status or her quick, warm replies. You think respect is given only by her soft approval. He would call it something returned to you after self-respect. Notice how you breathe when your notifications are strangely quiet. Seneca quietly divides your life into what is yours and what is not. Your judgments, your choices, your boundaries sit firmly in your hands. Her mood, her calendar, and her response windows never truly did. Dating dynamics rot when you forget which side you command. You treat your schedule as flexible for everyone who suddenly texts. She reads it as you having no throne to guard. You move every block in your calendar to keep constant access. Masculine sovereignty dies each time you abandon your own plans. For Seneca, inner governance is a quiet, strict, lifelong game. Like chess played slowly in a crowded room of gossip, you move pieces you control and ignore the shouting crowd. You choose effort over ease, principle over social proof. Your phone glows, and you break focus before the second ring. You answer instantly, scared of losing precious digital ground. You act like scarcity is out there, not inside you. You measure worth by how many eyes track your story. Strategy under Seneca is demanding yet straightforward. Write down 3 non-negotiable rules you live by this week. Sleep, training, and deep work that no date is allowed to touch. Guard them like a throne. Only you are allowed to occupy. Once you see your rules, you see how quickly you break them. Seneca would call this the oldest trap in the room. You hand your mood to her like a gift. You wait for read receipts to decide if you matter. In an attention economy, that leash can run your whole life. You text back before you have even finished exhaling. You stretch jokes you don't find funny to seem effortless. You nod at opinions you quietly despise to keep selection. Dating dynamics start to look like a sale, not a meeting. Seneca watched men orbit power and lose themselves completely. Courtiers changed their views overnight to protect their position. Clients lived on gifts and lived in constant fear. When praise stopped, they discovered they had no boundaries at all. They worshipped pure social proof. You repeat their pattern every time her tone shifts slightly. Her response windows control whether you train, work, or sleep. You cancel plans to stay available because scarcity terrifies you. You think she holds all the leverage. You gave it away. In Seneca's frame, you bend your neck before any command. You treat her approval as oxygen, not as passing weather. You perform rather than speak plainly, hiding your proper standards. Masculine sovereignty cannot grow in someone else's mirror. You orbit her dating signals. You think you are charming. You are only echoing her. You melt in the forge of her mood, then harden into resentment. You blame women or dating dynamics for what you volunteered for. The rules you live by are visible in every small compromise. Notice one opinion you softened or buried around her. Write it out in full, exactly how you believe it. Feel the discomfort of seeing your own voice on paper. That discomfort is the beginning of leverage and real boundaries. You redraw boundaries on paper when you see that you are volunteering for this role. The mirror finally stops flattering you and starts telling the truth. You realize the reflection has always been yours. Response windows become neutral information. When you see you're volunteering, the mirror turns back on you. Seneca would say, the mirror was never against you. It simply reflects what you quietly chose to endure. You think she disrespects you in every response window. You taught her that your time costs nothing over and over. This is responsibility, not blame, not sin, just data for you. You treat delayed replies as emergencies from a higher court. Your nervous system races ahead of the actual message. Response windows feel like verdicts in the attention economy. You leave your own throne to refresh the chat. You are not trapped. You keep walking back uninvited each night. Seneca points out that you live under pressure. He watched men stay calm while crowds laughed and mocked. They fixed their value inside, not in social proof. You instead pace like a servant outside her door. You mistake compliance for kindness and self-betrayal, for romance in dating dynamics. You cancel workouts and work to answer within minutes. Your sleep bends around her typing bubble and a late call. Dating dynamics feel cruel because you surrendered masculine sovereignty first. You step away from purpose to manage her mood and calm panic. You choose her reactions over boundaries every time your phone vibrates. Seneca would call this volunteering, not punishment from the world. You vote for this life with every "it's fine" text. You rehearse helplessness until the attention economy mirror feeds it back. Choose to stay seated on your throne, not pacing. Send once, then wait. Let silence train your body like slow exposure. The next day, do not double text anyone. One message, then space, even when your chest tightens. Notice where your mind runs when response windows slow down. Write it out instead of chasing, and watch the urge rise. Once you admit you volunteered, tension becomes part of masculine sovereignty. Seneca identifies a quieter paradox at the heart of your love life. Too much of you makes you vanish in her awareness. Excess, even of kindness, turns respect into soft boredom. He sees how overgiving without boundaries cheapens your presence. You think sweetness will repair every crack in dating dynamics. You stay in her messages through the dark. You answer every ping inside tighter response windows. You flood her feed with hearts, playlists, reassurance, and constant check-ins. In the attention economy, more contact feels like more value. But desire needs space, like metal needs distance from the forge. Seneca watched as powerful men granted every favor asked of them. Each yes carved away unseen authority from their voice. Indulgent elites became entertainers. not leaders, in their own courts. Their boundaries dissolved, and no one feared losing access anymore. You repeat the pattern when you treat her comfort as law. You think approval buys connection. It kills desire and respect. When you are available, scarcity vanishes and tension dies. Dating dynamics flatten because nothing is at stake in the interaction. She can cancel, reschedule, drift, and you will still orbit. You become the background music in a crowded bar. Seneca's answer is not cruelty, but measured restraint and framing. He praises men who refuse comfort to keep clarity. Like steel in a forge, you need heat and cooling. You hold boundaries on sleep, training, and work when she calls. You let desire breathe alongside solid commitments rather than accommodate it. Think of chess, where you move only what matters now. You do not slide every piece forward because it trembles. You entirely protect parts of your life from dating dynamics. Masculine sovereignty looks like ignoring a message while you lift. You think yes keeps her. It proves you cannot lead. Choose one non-negotiable this week and refuse to move it. The gym, a project, and a sleep block are written into your calendar. Let every invitation, even hers, bend around that fixed square. Feel discomfort build in your chest and keep the rule. To live this paradox, accept that respect needs tension, not ease. Seneca does not romanticize what happens when you change. He calls hardship a forge that burns weaker metal. You wanted masculine sovereignty. You also asked for fire. You step back from the attention economy, and heat rushes in. Response windows stretch longer, and your chest feels exposed. You answer slower, and she notices first, in ways. Typing bubbles appear, vanish, then return sharper than before. She might escalate, pull away, or test new fragile boundaries. Dating dynamics shift the moment you stop feeding her certainty. In the attention economy, withdrawal feels like stepping off a cliff. Seneca would frame this mockery and silence as training. He watched men accept exile rather than flatter shifting power. They sat in their company like soldiers at night. Their respect came after they chose standards over social proof. You think being alone means you failed at connection. You start to see who liked you, compliant and needy. Friends used to your constant yes call you selfish. They want the version of you without boundaries or backbone. Group chats and social proof trick you into thinking presence equals love. You think mockery proves you wrong. It exposes their dependence. Attention patterns around you begin to rewire in slow motion. You no longer rush replies to soothe a spike of anxiety. Response windows open like doors you walk past, on purpose. You choose training, reading, lifting over chasing every ping. Masculine sovereignty tastes like boredom, then like quiet strength. Seneca says, "Stay seated between response windows on your throne. Let solitude press against you like a weight on a bar. You feel smaller for a while as circles shrink. Then you realize the forge is building density, not drama. Respect is expensive. You pay with silence and delayed approval. Spend one evening with your phone on airplane mode. Do deep work or train without checking for witnesses. Later, write down who reached out and who you chased. Let that list teach you about boundaries and real selection. Once you accept the cost, you can choose a different path entirely. Seneca quietly brings you back from theory to the ground. He cares less about social proof and more about patterns. Freedom begins when your actions match your claimed values. Not in perfect moods, but under pressure and noise. You stop narrating masculine sovereignty and start scheduling it. Think like a chess player, not like a flashing slot machine feed. You reply after finishing tasks, not during frantic mid-scroll distraction. Response windows stop being emergencies and become a neutral space. You answer from a place of stability rather than panic about dating dynamics. You think confidence is talk. Seneca makes it calendar. Morning, look ahead and set clear rules you live by. What matters for the body, for work, for the mind, gets blocked. Night, you review where you folded to social proof. This is individuation in his frame, quiet and repetitive. You think growth is breakthroughs. He makes it daily bookkeeping. Your phone vibrates while you are under a barbell. Attention economy logic tells you to keep her engaged. Seneca's logic tells you to finish the current rep first. Masculine sovereignty shows up as which weight you drop. You choose the bar, and a small piece of you hardens. She invites you out on a night you're on guard duty for work. Old you bends boundaries, so she never feels slighted. New you keeps the block, offers another night without apology. Dating dynamics shift when you stop treating your plan as negotiable. You think boundaries are speeches. They are invitations you never send. Picture your life as a throne built from recurring habits. Sleep, training, and work become pillars that no one casually moves. You protect them like key chess pieces in a long game. You are no longer affordable in your own eyes. You think sovereignty is an aura. It is concrete constraints. Block 2 non-negotiable slots this week for work or training. Tell no one you are free then, including her. Notice how much you chase social proof. Break your rule. Write that down and keep the commitment anyway. Once your life shows your rules, you can meet women, not judges. Seneca wants you to see women differently, without drama or worship. He treats every reaction as information to carefully train from, not as a verdict, not as a final grade forever. In his frame, she becomes a mirror, not a god. You think she decides your worth. She reflects your structure. She pulls back, and your chest tightens against unknown scarcity. Old you rushes into the chat to fix the tension on instinct. New you pauses and studies what this truly reveals. Is this about her or about your boundaries? Dating dynamics reveal the actual rules you live by. Seneca watched men face critics in crowded public life. They turned insults into chances to examine themselves more deeply. Praise and blame both grew lighter in their hands. They did not outsource identity to shifting social proof. You think rejection is a sentence. It is often a mirror. In the attention economy, you are used to judgment. Views, likes, and response windows feel like constant trials for you. A late reply from her feels like courtroom silence. But she is not a judge waiting to condemn. She is one moving piece reacting to your masculine sovereignty. So you respond calmly when she tests with small storms again. You say no when it crosses your standards and time. You let her disappointment belong to her, not you entirely. Dating dynamics become feedback on boundaries, not wounds to your soul. You think leadership is about control. Often, it is about clean separation. Next time you feel stung by a delay or her reaction, write one line. What is this reflecting about me? Answer it once, without blaming her or the attention economy. Let that sentence show where you still chase approval. When women become mirrors instead of judges, you aim higher than approval. Seneca leaves you with a different idea of success inside you now. Life is a long training ground, not a single scene for virtue. Each interaction becomes practice for the rules you live under pressure. You walk through rooms like a man in a forge. Heat, pressure, silence, all shaping how you carry yourself forward. His calm is not passive. It is a command of attention and direction. You guide your focus instead of feeding the attention economy around you. Response windows stretch, and you no longer panic in them at all. You choose when to answer, rather than proving your availability to everyone. You stop letting dating signals rearrange your entire nervous system. For Seneca, individuation means your judgment governs your choices under pressure. You become distinct through boundaries written into your calendar and defended. Masculine sovereignty shows in how you protect those blocks from interruption. You sit on your throne while invitations circle your door without permission. You move like chess, not like a frantic notification feed in rhythm. You are not here to win every conversation or argument with her. You are here to become someone you would respect for years to come. You think constant approval sustains connection. It slowly kills desire. You do not need endless praise. You need a standard you are willing to suffer for without witnesses. So your mission is simple and heavy at the same time. Build depth, skills, and structure that continue whether she stays or leaves. Let dating dynamics, boundaries, and delays become arenas for rehearsal. Treat every spike in emotion as material for calmer choices. Practice holding your line while the room tests your resolve. Choose one standard from this whole video and keep it. Sleep, training, work, or response time across the next 72 hours. Let every invitation bend around that rule instead of breaking it. Write down each moment you want to fold and don't. From here, the rest of your life becomes practice.